Did you know there are places under the American flag where you don't pay federal income tax, where tropical beaches meet zero state taxes, and where your Social Security check goes about twice as far as it does in Florida? We're not talking about some shady offshore scheme or a remote bunker in the woods. We're talking about actual U.S. territories where you can live as an American citizen or resident, vote in primaries, carry your U.S. passport, and enjoy freedoms most mainlanders have completely forgotten exist. While everyone's arguing about whether to move to Texas or Tennessee for lower taxes, there's a whole world of American islands and territories that offer financial perks, cultural richness, and lifestyle advantages that make the mainland look like an overpriced theme park. These aren't just vacation spots, they're legitimate places where thousands of Americans have relocated, retired, and reinvented their lives while keeping their citizenship intact. But here's the catch. Most people have no idea these options exist, and even fewer understand the real benefits and trade-offs of living in these forgotten corners of America. Welcome to America's Hidden Gems, the U.S. territories that offer a lifestyle and financial freedom most Americans don't even know they're entitled to. On this channel, we dive deep into the real facts about American geography, relocation strategies, and retirement planning. So if you're tired of the same old move to Florida advice, hit that subscribe button because we're about to explore options that could literally change your financial future. Today, we're covering everything from tax benefits and cost of living to healthcare access, cultural differences, job opportunities, and the actual day-to-day realities of living in these territories. We'll talk about who these places are perfect for, who should absolutely avoid them, and what the government doesn't advertise about territorial living. Some of these islands offer near-paradise living for a fraction of mainland costs, while others come with serious infrastructure challenges you need to know about before booking that one-way ticket. Number 1. Puerto Rico, the tax haven everyone's talking about. Puerto Rico is the big dog of U.S. territories, home to about 3.2 million people, and recently the hotspot for crypto millionaires, entrepreneurs, and retirees looking to slash their tax bills legally. Here's the deal. If you become a bona fide resident of Puerto Rico, you pay zero federal income tax on Puerto Rico-sourced income, and under Acts 60 and 22, new residents can get a 4% corporate tax rate and 0% tax on capital gains, dividends, and interest earned after you move there. We're talking about people saving hundreds of thousands or millions in taxes completely legally, which is why you're seeing a flood of wealthy mainlanders buying up property in San Juan, Dorado, and Rincon. The cost of living is about 15 to 20% cheaper than major U.S. cities. You can rent a nice apartment for $1,200 to $1,800 in most areas, buy fresh local produce for pennies, and enjoy world-class beaches without the Florida price tag. The culture is vibrant, bilingual Spanish-English, with incredible food, music, and a blend of Caribbean and American influences that feels like the best of both worlds. But let's be real, the infrastructure is still recovering from Hurricane Maria in 2017. Power outages happen more than they should, and the healthcare system, while improving, isn't at mainland standards in rural areas. Puerto Rico is perfect for digital nomads, business owners with portable income, and retirees who want tropical living with American legal protections. But you need to be comfortable with occasional inconveniences and a slower island time pace of life. Number 2, U.S. Virgin Islands, Caribbean paradise with American convenience. The USVIs, St. Thomas, St. John, and St. Croix, are where you get that postcard-perfect Caribbean experience without needing a passport or dealing with foreign banking systems. About 105,000 people call the USVI home, and here's the kicker. You pay no federal income tax on USVI-sourced income, though you do file with the Virgin Islands Bureau of Internal Revenue using the same tax code, so it's basically a wash unless you're structuring business income strategically. The real appeal here is the lifestyle. Crystal clear turquoise water, some of the best snorkeling and diving in the world, a tight-knit expat community, and that laid-back island vibe where showing up to a meeting in flip-flops is completely acceptable. Cost of living is higher than Puerto Rico, about 20 to 30% above the U.S. mainland average, with groceries and gas being particularly expensive since almost everything is imported. You're looking at $2,000 to $3,000 for a decent rental, and buying property can run $400,000 to well over $1 million for anything with an ocean view. The job market is limited. Tourism, hospitality, some government work, and remote jobs are your main options. So most people moving here either have remote income or are retirees living off investments and Social Security. Healthcare is available but basic. Serious medical issues often require evacuation to Puerto Rico or the mainland. The USVI is ideal for people who prioritize natural beauty and outdoor activities over career opportunities, who can afford the higher cost of living, and who don't mind the occasional hurricane season reminder that you're living on small islands in the Atlantic. Number 3, Guam, America's gateway to Asia. Guam is the Pacific territory most Americans forget exists, sitting about 6,000 miles west of California and serving as America's strategic military outpost in Asia with a population around 170,000. This island is unique because it's genuinely multicultural. Chamorro natives, Filipino immigrants, military families, Japanese tourists, and Korean business owners all mixing together in what feels like Asia meets America meets tropical paradise. You don't pay federal income tax if you're a bona fide Guam resident, but you file with the Guam Department of Revenue using a mirror tax system, so the savings aren't as dramatic as Puerto Rico unless you're structuring business income strategically. The cost of living is higher than Puerto Rico, about 30 to 40% above the mainland average, with groceries and gas being particularly expensive since almost everything is imported. You're looking at $1,500 to $2,500 for rentals, and buying property runs $350,000 to well over $1 million for anything with an ocean view. The job market is actually solid compared to other territories, driven by the massive U.S. military presence, Anderson Air Force Base and Naval Base Guam, tourism from Asia, and government positions. Plus, there's growing tech and call center industries. Healthcare is surprisingly good with the Guam Memorial Hospital and several private clinics, though specialized care might require evacuation to Hawaii or the Philippines. The weather is hot and humid year-round with typhoon season from June to December, and you're dealing with serious geographic isolation. It's a 7 to 8 hour flight to Hawaii, 3.5 hours to Tokyo, and 14 hours to the mainland. Guam works for military families, people with business ties to Asia, adventure seekers who want to explore Micronesia, and anyone comfortable being really far from mainland America. Number 4, American Samoa, the most unique territory you've never considered. American Samoa is the wild card of U.S. territories, and here's something that shocks most people. If you're born in American Samoa, you're technically a U.S. national, not a U.S. citizen, though you can easily naturalize if you move to the mainland. This chain of islands, about 2,600 miles south of Hawaii, is home to roughly 45,000 people and maintains the strongest connection to indigenous culture of any U.S. territory. The Fa Samoa, Samoan way, is deeply respected. Traditional village structures still govern daily life, and about 90% of the land is communally owned, meaning you can't just buy property unless you have Samoan blood or marry into a family. The tax situation is similar to Guam. No federal income tax, but you pay territorial taxes at similar rates, so it's not a tax haven like Puerto Rico. Cost of living is moderate, cheaper than Guam or USVI, but more expensive than parts of Puerto Rico, with limited housing options and most goods imported from New Zealand, Australia, or Hawaii. The economy's tiny, dominated by the tuna canning industry. Starkist has a major facility there, government jobs, and some tourism. So unless you're working remotely or retiring, job prospects are extremely limited. Healthcare is basic, with the LBJ Tropical Medical Center handling routine care, but serious issues require medical evacuation to Hawaii, which is a 5-hour flight away. American Samoa is incredibly isolated, deeply traditional, and requires serious cultural respect and adaptation. This isn't a place for digital nomads looking for fast Wi-Fi and craft coffee, but rather for people genuinely interested in Polynesian culture, simple living, and becoming part of a tight-knit community that values family and tradition above individualism. Number 5, the Northern Mariana Islands, the Pacific's best-kept secret. The Northern Mariana Islands, with Saipan as the main hub and a total population around 47,000, might be the most overlooked territory in the entire American system, sitting just north of Guam in the Western Pacific. Like the other territories, bona fide residents don't pay federal income tax, but instead file with the CNMI Division of Revenue. And honestly, the tax benefits alone aren't enough to draw people here. It's the combination of stunning natural beauty, lower costs than Guam, and a genuinely relaxed atmosphere that makes it appealing. Saipan offers gorgeous beaches, world-class diving spots including World War II shipwrecks, and a weird mix of Chamorro culture, American influence, and heavy Chinese and Korean tourism and investment that gives the place an international feel. Cost of living runs about 20 to 30% above mainland averages, cheaper than Guam but still pricey, with housing around $1,200 to $2,000 for rent and groceries costing noticeably more than stateside since everything's imported from Asia or the US. The job market is rough unless you're in tourism, government work, or running your own business. The garment industry that once employed thousands collapsed in the 2000s, and the economy has struggled to diversify since then. Healthcare is limited to the Commonwealth Health Center, which handles basics, but anything serious means a flight to Guam or Manila. The CNMI is perfect for diving enthusiasts, retirees who want tropical living without the crowds of Hawaii or the hustle of Guam, and people willing to embrace serious isolation in exchange for natural beauty and a slower pace. If you need career opportunities, extensive shopping, or quick access to the mainland, this isn't your spot. But if you want to disappear into Pacific Island life while technically still living in America, Saipan delivers. So, there you have it, the forgotten corners of America where you can legally reduce your tax burden, live in tropical paradise, and still wave the American flag while enjoying freedoms and opportunities most people don't even know exist. Whether it's Puerto Rico's tax incentives, the Virgin Islands' Caribbean beauty, Guam's Pacific adventure, American Samoa's cultural immersion, or the Northern Marianas' hidden tranquility, these territories offer legitimate alternatives to the mainland rat race if you're willing to accept the trade-offs. My take is, if you're financially secure, health stable, adaptable, and genuinely seeking a slower pace with natural beauty over convenience, these places deserve serious consideration. But don't move based on tax savings alone, or you'll be miserable within months. Drop a comment below and tell me which territory sounds most appealing to you. Or if you've lived in any of these places, share your real experience, the good, the bad, and the ugly, because future viewers need to hear it. Next week, we're diving into the cheapest beach towns in America where you can actually afford to retire, so make sure you're subscribed and notifications are on. Until then, keep exploring your options, do your homework, and remember that freedom comes in many forms. Sometimes it's just hiding in plain sight under the American flag in places you forgot to look.